joins. You can mute yourself so that there will not be any echo and there will not be any disturbance on the line. So when we are discussing about it, So the joins. So far we have seen about the retrieving of the data from only from single table and how to retrieve the data from multiple tables. So how to retrieve the data from multiple tables. How to retrieve the data from multiple tables and how we are going to do that. So retrieving the data from multiple tables will be done by using the joins. We have different types of joins whenever we are retrieving the data. So we have different types of joins we are going to understand. So whenever you are joining the table, there should be a key which will help you to join the two tables. So now let's try and understand what are the new tables that we are going to use in this chapter and how we are going to join them. Join is nothing but combining of the data or retrieving of the data from the multiple tables. Let's say we have already seen we have a department table and we have an employee table, we have a department table and we have an employee table. We have a location table, All these tables are available in the HR schema. So locations, and you have a departments table, and you have a departments table and you have employees table. And we are also going to use one more table called as a jobs table, but we are going to join these two things, that is your employees and jobs table, by using a salary column, that is to understand the non-equi join. We are going to do it. So let's take a look at the structure of the tables, what we are talking about. So if you look at the employee table will have a column called as a department ID. And department table also will contain a column called as a department ID. So whenever you are joining the employees in the department, so you'll always join through the common key column. That is your department ID. So whenever you are joining these two tables, you'll use the department ID as a foreign key or whatever you call. So department ID to do this. So whenever you are joining the locations and the department, so then you can join both of them by using a location ID. Location ID is a primary key here. So for the time being, you just remember what is a primary key here. And in the departments table, the location ID is a foreign key. So we are going to join the locations and the department by using the location ID. So we are going to join them. So these two tables, what we are going to use, will be joined by using the location ID. We will use it. So location underscore ID, and location underscore ID, and you're going to join the employees table and the jobs table by using a salary column. So you're going to compare the salary column with the minimum salary and the maximum salary available in the jobs table. So you're going to use the salary column to compare the data. So all these tables you have a jobs table, you have a location table, you have a departments table. All these tables will be used to determine the joins. Now you have a requirement. Let's say all the time, if you see the earlier queries, whatever we have written, and we retrieve the data. We retrieve the data from a single table, maybe the last name, job ID, salary. All these columns are available in the same table. Now you have got the requirement along with the employee details. If you have to display the data from the multiple tables. Let's say you want to even display the department name also. So how can we do that? By using the joins. So the joins are broadly classified into two types. One is an inner join, another is an outer join. Inner join and the outer join. So inner joins always gives you the matching data between the two tables. It will always gives you matching data between the two tables based upon the condition. Matching data between two tables based upon the condition. Based on the condition that you're joining, based on the joint condition. We'll call it like this, based on the joint condition. And similarly, if you look at the outer joins will give you matching and unmatching data. Matching and unmatching data from tables, unmatching data from tables that are joined based on the condition. From the tables that are joined on to the condition. So let's talk about the inner join. Inner join will give you the matching data between the two tables. So again, the inner join can be divided into two types. One is a equi-join, another is a non-equi-join. One is a equi-join, another is a non-equi-join. So what is an equi-join? So whenever you are joining the two tables by using an equal to operator, that is called as an equi-join. If you are joining the two tables by using other than not equal to operator, something like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, then we can use the non-equi-join. So to understand the equi-join, so now let's talk about the equi-join and how to use it. So it's nothing but the inner equi-join which will give you the matching data between the two tables. Now I have a requirement to retrieve the data from the employees table and the departments table. At the same time, I want to display the department name also along with the employee details, something like a last name, job ID, and the salary. Last name, job ID, and the salary. So now I'm going to retrieve the data. So equi-join. So how to do that? How to join the two tables? Let's say there are two ways that you can write the joins. So one is by using the ANSI syntax, ANSI SQL 99 syntax, ANSI SQL 99 syntax, and other is by using a general syntax. So first we will understand how to write the queries using the ANSI SQL 99 syntax. Then we'll look at how to write the queries using a general syntax, how we do it. So this ANSI SQL 99 syntax will be the same thing. Across all the databases. So you can use this syntax across all the databases, not only with Oracle. It will work with all the other databases. So that is a standard syntax that we follow to write the queries. Now, to join both the tables and retrieve the data, select from. So what is the table that you would like to retrieve the data from? Departments and inner join. So you're going to use the keyword inner join to join both of them, and at the same time which table you're joining? Employees table. So you're going to provide the employees table and you're going to provide the condition by using the on clause. This is the syntax, and how these two are related. So always this will be joined through the common key which have the same kind of data being stored in the two tables. So departments dot department ID, departments dot department underscore ID is equal to employees dot department ID. So if you see, employees table has a department ID and departments table has a department ID. So employees table dot department ID. Now I would like to fetch the department ID as well as the department name, employee last name, first name, and all those details I want to fetch it. So whenever you are retrieving the columns, so always you should prefix the table name. It's a good practice to prefix the table name always in front of the column name, because you might have a similar kind of a columns present in both the tables. In that case, your database or your SQL engine cannot understand from which table it has to retrieve the data. So to avoid the ambiguity, always prefix the table name or the alias name to do that. Now along with this, I also want to retrieve the employees.last name and employees.salary, employees.last name and employees.salary. So we are going to use this to retrieve the data. So where department ID, department name, last name, and the salary. So when you try and execute, this, so this will give you the matching data between the two tables. So how the join is working? Let's take an example and then understand it. I have exported the data from both the tables. And I have exported into one XLS. So how to export it? So I have queried the data, and then you can right click on it and then export. So it will give you an option to export into XLS. So here you can select the format as XLS and then provide the path where you want to save it, and then click on next and then finish it. So this way it will generate the XLS file. So that way I have exported the data from both your both your employees table as well as the dimension table to understand how the join works. Now let's take a look at this, how the join condition works. So you have a department ID, department name, manager ID, and the location ID, which you have it in the departments table. And you have all the other columns, that is department ID, manager ID, commission, salary, job ID, hire date, and everything is available. So how these two tables are joined? Through the department ID. So how the join works, concentrate here. So first it will go and fetch the record from the department ID 10. It will go and fetch the record from department ID, first record in the department table, and then it will try and join with all the records available in the employees table. So it will compare the data in such a way: 10 equal to 90, false; 10 equal to 90, false; 10 equal to 90, false; 10 equal to 60, false; 10 equal to 60, false; 10 equal to 60. Likewise, it will start comparing wherever it finds a matching record. Wherever it finds a matching means where the condition will be evaluated to true. So somewhere or the other. So null also is a false condition. Null equal to 10, false. So this record also will not be retrieved. And if you go and see, there is one record which you have for a department number 10. So this, the last name is valid. So this record will be retrieved. So if you go and see, the first record which you have, 10 admin, and then the valid, and then the salary is being retrieved. So only one record is present for a department number 10, so you don't have any other records. That's why you got one record. Then next, once after comparing with all the data, then it will go and fetch the 20, and then it will start matching the data. Wherever it finds a matching record, it will retrieve all the records which are matching to that 20. So if you see here, you have two records which are matching. So that is Heston and Frame. So those two records will be retrieved, 20 marketing as well as this values will be retrieved. So the department ID, department name are coming from the department table, and the last name and salary are coming from the employees table. So likewise, it will start validating the data for all the records. It will start validating the data for all the records till 110. So let's take an example for 120. So it will take 120 and then see here for 120, do we have any record present in the employees table? So if you try and validate the data for 120, you will not identify any of the records. That means there are no employees which are present for a department number 120 in the employees table. That's why if you see here, you won't find that record here. You won't find that record. Even when you go to the end, it will give you, what did we understand from the inner join? Inner join will give you only the matching data. Inner join will give you only the matching data. It doesn't give you the unmatching data. So here you have a record which is available. You have a record which is available in the employees table which doesn't have any matching department ID. So this record will not be retrieved. And at the same time, if you look at it, these are all the departments which do not have any kind of a matching data from 120 to 270. You don't have any kind of a matching data which is available in your employees table. That's why these records are also not being retrieved, and the records which do not have a matching department is also not being retrieved. So inner join, whenever you do an inner join always gives you the matching data between the two tables. Matching data. It doesn't give you the unmatching data. That is, so if you see 120 to 270 has not been retrieved, and at the same time, the records which do not have any departments assigned to them, employees which do not have any employees. So out of 107 records, if you go and validate the count of records what is being returned by your query, only 106, because only 106 employees are having a matching matching department data. All the other employees, the other one employee doesn't have a matching record. That's why it has not retrieved. So always the inner join. So why it is called as an equi-join? You can call it as an inner equi-join. Why it is called as an equi-join? Because you're trying to compare the data between the tables using the equal to operator. So this will give you the matching data. This will give you the matching data between the two tables. It will give you the matching data between the two tables. That way it will retrieve it. Similarly, inner non-equi-join is also possible. non-equi join. Non-equi join is nothing but you're by using a different condition you're going to join them. So to understand the non-equi join, how the non-equi join works, so let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. And before even stepping, so any questions on the inner equi join or the equi join or the inner? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, in the select on the statement, you put some dot after department. You put a dot after employees table. Why is that?
Yes. So this is the dot which will tell you that this column is coming from the employees table. So I'm prefixing the table name dot column name. So it will give me the column name. So what I said like during this is that, so whenever you're fetching the data from the any of the tables, what you see in the joins, it is always a good practice to prefix the table name and then access it. So in this syntax is that to access the any column from any column from any table, will always prefix the table name dot column name. That is the syntax that we follow to retrieve the column name from the table.
Karthik, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the inner join by default is the inner equi join, right?
Yes, we can say that all inner joins are equi joins. Yes, we can say that.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
All inner joins.
Oh, okay.
All inner joins are equi joins.
Thanks a lot.
And you can also, and reverse is actually correct in the sense like all equi joins are the inner joins, and all inner joins may not be the equi join. So you can also create a non-equi join between this. Non-equi join in the sense like where you can get the matching data. So now we'll see how to create a inner non-equi join. So non-equi join, yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to retrieve the data to understand the non-equi join. So I'm going to retrieve the data between the employees table and the jobs table. So how to retrieve the data between the employees table and the jobs table? So instead of prefixing the long table name, you can also provide the aliases, just like the columns that you provide the aliases. You can also provide the aliases for a table names. So how to provide the aliases for a tables, that is also we will see here. So I'm again retrieving the data from two tables, that is the employees table and the jobs table. So instead of prefixing the long name, I'm just calling this as an employees E, and then inner is an optional keyword. So either you can use it or you can just do that. So otherwise you can directly use a join keyword to join that. And then I'm joining the jobs table. So if you look at the jobs table, you have a minimum salary and the maximum salary. And in the employees table, you have the salary column. So I'm going to join the employees table and the jobs table by using the salary column here. So let's try and understand how the data works, how this works to understand. We have a minimum salary and the maximum salary. So to determine this, I'm going to write a query between these two things. So where, and I'm going to use an on statement. So E dot salary. So instead of prefixing the entire table name now, so you can always use the alias name. So I've already provided an alias for employees as E, for a jobs as J. So I'm going to compare the condition saying E dot salary is greater than or equal to J dot minimum salary, or you can directly use E dot salary between J dot minimum salary and J dot maximum salary. J dot minimum salary and J dot maximum salary. So I want to retrieve the last name, salary and everything from the employee. I want to retrieve the last name. So these are all the columns coming from the employees table. E dot last name, E dot salary, and you have J dot minimum of salary, J dot maximum of salary. So and I'm also going to retrieve the job ID from this to determine how the non-equi join works. So let's take an example and then understand how the non-equi join works. So it also works. Okay, 1A would be extra here. There is a extra A which is available. So that is That's why it is throwing the error as invalid identifier. So the column name is wrong. Column name is wrong. So if you try and validate, so it will give you this. So let's take a simple example. So if you see this, able record is being retrieved for 6 times. Able record is being retrieved for 6 times. So why this record is being retrieved 6 times? Because the same salary is matching with 6 job IDs in the jobs table. So let's take the example. So you know the able salary is 11,000, and then try and match whether how many records, how many matching records we have in the jobs table. So when you go here, so first it will start. First it will take the salary of the employee. That is the first record in the employees table. So it will take it, and then it will try and match the data for all this. So whether the 11,000 is between 4,200 and 9,000, false. 8,200 and 16,000, yes. So that's why this record will be retrieved only one and once. So this is one record. And this one, no. This one, no. This one, no. This one, no. This one, yes. This is again the one more record. So 8,200, 16,000, 11,000 is between these two values, lower range and upper range. So that's why financial underscore manager and account manager would have been retrieved once. So if you see here, account manager and the finance manager has been retrieved. And similarly, if you try and validate the data, so it will match. It will match the 6 records in the jobs table, 9,000 and the 15,000. Yes, 11,000 is between the 9,000 and 15,000. So 11,000 is between the 9,000 and 15,000. So that is your marketing manager. Your marketing manager. So 9,000 and the 15,000, the data will be there. So 9,000 and the 15,000, so that's why it is also retrieved once. 4,000 and 9,000, false. 4,000, 5,000, 4,500 and 10,500, which is also false. Likewise, if you start comparing, for a single record, you have 6 matches. You have 6 matches in the jobs table. That's why you have this record is being retrieved 6 times. This record is being retrieved 6 times. Similarly, if you take the other salary and it, so this record is being retrieved for this many times, 8 times means, so the 6,400 matches with 6 job IDs in the jobs table. 6 job IDs in the jobs table. So this way it will match the data. It will match the data. So why it is called as a non-equi join? It is also give you the matching data. It will also give you the matching data. So why it is called as a non-equi join? Because why it is called as a non-equi join, to understand, is that like this is being used as a with a between and operator, not the equal to operator. Equal to operator, if you are using the if you are using a equal to operator to join the data, then that join is called as a equi join, and if it is more than that, then that is, I mean, if it is not using the equi join, then that is non-equi join. That is non-equi join. So e dot salary is less than or equal to this, then it will try and retrieve the data. It will try and retrieve the data. So this also will give you the same kind of a data set. So you can convert the between and operator by using greater than or equal to and less than or equal to, also by using this. So by using this, so that way the non-equi join also can be defined between the 2 tables. So in the inner we have seen 2 joins, that is your equi join and the non-equi join. Equi join and the non-equi join that is being kept in the inner join. So that way you can write the 2 things. And here, if you see, we have used aliases. We have not used a complete names. We have used aliases for our tables, and then join the 2 things. Using it. So e dot last name, e dot salary, j dot job ID, j dot minimum salary, and j dot maximum salary. So always use the alias names. Always use the alias names. So that's about the inner joins, like how to fetch the matching data. So whenever you see it, it is giving you only the matching data. Out of all the records, 19 records, for able it has written you only 6 records, because only 6 records are matching the data with your condition. Only 6 records are matching. That's the reason it is using that. So the 6 records are matching. That's why only the 6 records are being retrieved for a particular record. So that is how the inner join works. That is how the inner join works, right? So now.
So what's the difference between the non-equi and the equi joins? I mean, I don't see the difference. What's the difference?
Yeah, if you see here in the equi-join, right? So equi-join, what is the condition that you have used? You are comparing the condition by using an equal to operator, But if you see here, you are comparing you are joining the two things by using a non-equal comparison, right? Non-equal, that is something like greater than, less than. This is a non-equal comparison. That's the reason it is called as a non-equi-join, and this is called as an equi-join, right?